I remember seeing like a terms of service for an insurance company where they gave you an itemized list of payouts for each of your limbs being mutilated in an airplane accident. You ever feel, and this is like half sarcastic, but like half real. You know how like sometimes you'll be working on a project. The obvious comparison is like coding. Sometimes you're like, I got a great idea for like an app. And then you code it and you're like, my first feature, my second feature, my third feature. And then you're like, oh, I gotta like get this shit to all work together. Then when you try to link it, you're like, oh, but then I gotta go back to feature one and I gotta like refactor it a little bit. And then that means that I gotta go into feature two and I gotta like refactor it. Then I gotta go into feature three, I gotta refactor it. Now feature four is in. Then I'm gonna add feature five and you're like, oh crap, now I gotta like slightly tweak like the. Anyway, you build it up for years and years and years and years and years and years and years. And then eventually, surely there's gotta be a point where you wanna add another feature. And you're like, that just seems like too much work. I gotta, this thing, we've built like cruft on top of cruft on top of cruft on top of cruft, and we smashed the garbage bag down. We shoved a few more pieces of garbage, some old potato chip bags on top, and we pushed it down again. And then eventually you just reach a point where you're like, I can't do it anymore. I need a new garbage bag. And you start the whole thing over. You're like, I just feel so free to be like, instead of fixing problems, I'm creating problems downstream for myself. Like it feels good when you're sewing. Sometimes I wonder if like society is also like that. So I'm like, every time like I do anything that require like I'll go to the bank. It's a good example. Anytime you do anything at the bank, you have to sign like 9 forms. I just look at it and I'm like, if you design the system from the ground up now, that's not the way you would do it. Would be like, really? Like to buy a CD, I have to sign 8 forms that I don't even know really what they say. But it's like, oh, well, this is based on this and that was based on... Honestly, once every like 75 years, we should factory reset society. I'm sure that there would be knock-on effects. Like, I'm very thankful. You know what's great? Is the amount of safety we've inherited. You know, I can take my kid to the playground and I don't look at the swing set and I'm like, they're going to get their neck caught in the chain, or like the fastener is built out of shitty metal and it's going to fall over and she's going to smash her head on the concrete. You know, it's recycled rubber or something like that now. It's all made out of old tires. So when they hit the ground at terminal velocity, they just sort of like bounce off. But then there's every time I'm signing forms, I'm like, this can't be the way that where are these forms even going? There's a huge warehouse with like a billion filing cabinets in it where like I'm going to ask a question and they're going to be like, well, check it out. Look at this form you said. Those forms aren't going. As soon as I sign the form, it's going into a shredder somewhere. There's no way there's that much paper storage on Earth. I think we got to turn society off for 10 seconds. You got to hold the power button and then turn it back on, okay? By the way, the way you prevent that is called design patterns. Yeah, okay. That's why big software projects never run into bugs, like YouTube being unable to process my video today, despite the fact that it's like one of the most well-trafficked websites on the internet. Hey, just so you know, if you went to a real accredited university for computer science instead of a vocational institute for applied software development, we don't write any code. At UBC, we don't write any code, but we learn how to tell you to write the code better. If you need me, I'll be on the golf course. I'll be preparing a slide deck in seat 1A, first class. I'm on my second flight of the month to San Francisco. If you could just have that code up and committed to the production build by the time I land so I can show it off to the VCs, that would be great. Shut the hell up! Makes me sick. I'm a people person. The engineers can't talk to people.